Hey, it's Jason. 2025 is quickly winding down to an end, and all the new phones for this year have officially been launched, and no doubt one of the most popular options out there right now is the iPhone 17 Pro. This is your creme de la creme iPhone, the one that packs the most features, and this year finally somewhat of a new look. And generally speaking, consumers have been clamoring for a design overhaul for a long time now, as the iPhone has stayed virtually the same for many years, and though the new iPhone 17 Pro design is different from before, there are some criticisms around some of the choices Apple made with this phone and whether or not they're truly upgrades. And I think a good way to test that out is to compare the iPhone 17 Pro with its predecessor, the iPhone 16 Pro, a phone that a lot of people are still interested in for good reason. So today I'll be doing a side-by-side comparison between these two iPhones, all in an effort to help you decide which one is the best choice for you. And real quick, in case you want the wallpapers that you see in this video, make sure to subscribe to the JSL newsletter. I send subscribers out a brand new full-res wallpaper every single week, as well as links to really good tech tales and fun articles written by me. It's totally free. The link to subscribe will be in the description down below. Okay, first and foremost, let's compare the physical design between last year's iPhone 16 Pro and this year's 17 Pro, the biggest area of change and also the biggest area of controversy. So Apple decided to change things up with the design of the 17 Pro, mainly by using a unibody metal chassis to house all of the components that go into the phone. This is a deviation from the typical and somewhat formulaic glass-on-glass smartphone design where a metallic frame would connect the panels together. And generally speaking, the iPhone 17 Pro is, in my opinion, a beautifully put together device. The all-metal body does make the phone feel noticeably different. I love how they rounded off the edges. It makes holding the Pro a lot more comfortable, as this is a heavy device, and believe it or not, the cosmic orange color hasn't gotten old. I still like it, and I'm glad Apple started exploring more fun and loud colors for their Pro iPhone lineup. Now, the other design element on the 17 Pro that really stands out is the updated camera housing. Though the cameras themselves are in their usual place, the housing now extends across the width of the phone. It also ditches the use of glass and continues its theme of just metal here, and though it can look a bit awkward with the empty space on the right, overall I think the iPhone 17 Pro is a good looking phone. Now, when we take a look at last year's iPhone 16 Pro, this is the iPhone design that we're all a lot more familiar with, as it has a classic glass-on-glass build with the camera housing in its traditional position on the top left. It has the industrial look that Apple made famous many years ago with the flatter profile, particularly around the frame. Now, Apple did do a really good job with the frame here as well, as it's ever so slightly rounded so the glass panel doesn't stab into your hand as you grip the device, and I've always loved the frosted, more matte finish on the glass back panel. It gave the iPhone a more luxurious look while also keeping it clean of fingerprints and smudges. Now, the main issue at point here when it comes to design and form factor comes down to the fact that Apple decided to use aluminum for the unibody build material for the iPhone 17 Pro. Off the rip, this was a controversial decision, as for many years now, Apple has been specifically avoiding the use of aluminum on their Pro iPhones and opting for more quote-unquote precious metals to differentiate them from their non-Pro offerings that have been using aluminum for many years now. Case in point, the iPhone 16 Pro's frame is made out of titanium, something that Apple went way out of their way to praise themselves about, as it's a metal that's super lightweight but also incredibly durable. Now, Apple has said the reason for using aluminum is because it's a metal that dissipates heat better, which aids in performance, so there is a rhyme and reason to this decision. Now, for the record, I'm not a titanium snob or anyone who looks down on aluminum. In fact, I've always said that I prefer the aluminum frame on the non-Pro iPhone because it's color matched and has a matte finish, so I'm not shading Apple for its decision to use a metal that they themselves indirectly may have made look inferior, but I can understand why some people may be scratching their heads here. But the main issue at hand here is around the durability of the iPhone 17 Pro, as the aluminum in question can easily be scratched and damaged. Numerous buyers have been reporting that the metal, particularly around the edges of the camera housing, can easily get scratched, making a lot of consumers pissed, as this phone is not cheap. But aside from form factor, both the iPhone 17 Pro and last year's 16 Pro actually share a lot of similarities. They both have 6.9-inch Super Retina XDR OLED panels with Apple ProMotion that perform great. The iPhone 17 Pro does use Ceramic Shield 2 on the front glass, which I have to say is a pretty big upgrade from Ceramic Shield 1, but I would still recommend using a screen protector for both. They both have the relatively new action button, which replaced the mute switch, and the new camera control button on the side here. Now, when it comes to performance, the 17 Pro is equipped shipped with Apple's latest A19 Pro chip, while last year's 16 Pro has the A18 Pro. In addition to the faster processor, the 17 Pro also has a vapor chamber to assist with thermal management, the first on any iPhone. Now this could be a differentiator if you really push the 17 Pro to its limit regularly, like you engage in spec-intensive games for long periods of time or shoot a ton of ProRes video or something. But if you're a regular user who maybe games occasionally and takes normal 4K video, the iPhone 16 Pro is still going to be able to comfortably perform fine, even without a dedicated thermal management system. Now when it comes to battery life, the 17 Pro does boast slightly better performance to the 16 Pro, but not a major difference. They both support MagSafe 25-watt wireless charging, and both can comfortably get users through a full day of moderate use without any issues. Now the other big difference between the iPhone 17 Pro and the 16 Pro is going to come down to their cameras, and mainly with the one that often gets overlooked. But let's start with the cameras on the back. They both have triple camera setups with a primary wide angle, an ultra wide, and a telephoto zoom. While they share the same 48 megapixel main sensor that supports Apple Fusion, the rest of the cameras on the 16 Pro don't have access to Fusion technology, while the 17 Pros do. The Fusion technology is actually pretty great. It basically takes two photos and combines them together to give you a really good looking image. That said, the general performance between these two phones are pretty darn close when it comes to still image quality. They both are able to give users really pleasing photos that are sharp and color accurate, and they both have access to Apple's latest generation photographic styles to add some personality. They also both have access to ProRAW photos if you're more of an enthusiast, and the ability to take spatial photos. Both of these phones also do extremely well with video, as the standard 4K video is best in class and pretty much the same in quality. They both can take advantage of pro video features such as the ability to shoot in ProRes and in a log profile for advanced color editing. The 17 Pro takes it even deeper, as it can shoot video in ProRes RAW, which is kind of wild as it's a super advanced codec. It also has Genlock support. These are features that are usually exclusive for professional videographers. With that being said, I would argue that the Pro video features on either phone for most people are things that are going to go unused, as it requires additional accessories and knowledge on color grading in a video editor. If you're making serious films or professional video content, the additional features on the 17 Pro could be useful, but I'd venture that population makes up less than 1% of iPhone users. Now the biggest difference between the iPhone 17 Pro and the 16 Pro when it comes to their cameras is with their front-facing cameras. The 17 Pro comes equipped with the new center stage selfie camera that allows users to have a lot more flexibility when it comes to taking selfies, as they can change the aspect ratio or have the camera itself adjust based on how many people it detects in the frame. This is mainly accomplished by using a larger sensor than what's on the 16 Pro, so I would say that the 17 Pro selfie camera is objectively better. The quality is very close, however, so if you don't care about being able to take selfies in landscape mode and you don't need the fancy center stage technology, the 16 Pro selfie camera is still really good. Okay, the last thing that I want to talk about in this comparison review is the price. The iPhone 17 Pro has a starting price tag of $1,099. Now, the iPhone 16 Pro isn't sold anymore directly on Apple, but you can pick up a renewed version on Amazon for about $750. It's not an apples to apples comparison, but if you're a value shopper, I would say that the 16 Pro in really good renewed condition at that price is pretty great, considering that it's still a phone that's ultra capable and in certain ways better than the 17 Pro. But if you are on an older iPhone and have been waiting patiently for a change, the 16 Pro can look pretty lukewarm, and I don't blame you if you're drawn more to the updated form factor. And though I think you can get around 95% of the 17 Pro experience by going with the cheaper 16 Pro, I think it's okay if you want to take the plunge on the more expensive device, as this is a rock solid iPhone. But hey, that's just me, and I want to know what you guys think. Which phone would you upgrade to? The cheaper but potentially more durable iPhone 16 Pro, or the new and flashy 17 Pro? Curious to get your thoughts. Let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments down below. And in case you're really smart and considering the iPhone 17, definitely check out this review here. You're not going to want to miss it.